Happy New Year, everyone. So, this is my first vlog for the new year. The December numbers are in. What we're seeing is this typical slowdown during the Christmas season where everyone doesn't want to move either on the buy or sell side. We're still in a seller's market. Our inventory is sitting at about 2.3 months overall. 1322 housing units were sold on an inventory of 2989. The average price closing the year was 605,074. It's interesting to note that I got lucky. My prediction for at the beginning of 2024 was we would be in that 600,000 level, and indeed we were there. In fact, we hit a high a little over 620, and we're back down to the 600 level. Where do I see us headed for the upcoming 2025 year? I think we're going to be in that 635 level overall. The biggest concern I have, as with every economic pundit out there, is the U.S. tariffs and what our quote unquote buddy down south, President Trump, will do, and how will we retaliate with regard to that. I just don't believe he can fight that many fronts worldwide, but you never know when you've got a bit of a loose cannon running the show down there. And let us say our federal government is in a bit of disarray. I don't know whether they'll have the right response in place while they're trying to survive when by the end of January we will see the new president-elect Trump in power and his policies start to roll out. So that's the biggest concern I have right now with regard to our market. If those trade issues don't come to fruition, I would expect the Calgary real estate market to definitely hit that 635 level, a 5% bump up from last year. There's so much inflationary pressures, net migration pressures happening, and then the loose monetary policy, which would tend to be more inflationary than disinflationary. So I would expect the prices to ramp up. But given that the government of Canada is doing that, it's also indicating to you that the Canadian economy is quite weak. And as my earlier discussions have indicated, although we are not in a technical recession, 6 quarters of decreasing GDP per capita, not overall, is a recession in my books. And any sort of trade war with the U.S., in my mind, will shift us right into recession. So I'm leaning more towards kind of a flattish real estate market price, but you never know. Is it all bluster? If it's not bluster, we will see price increases in the Calgary real estate market because net migration has not changed. So this is the big question marks. Hence, I'm of two minds on this thing. We're at a crossroads. I think personally the Canadian economy is weak, and we're sitting next to a big brother that's quite strong. So will they lift us? I don't know. Typically they do, but we've come off the petrodollar because of our federal policies. So what would have typically lifted us has not lifted us. And so this is going to be quite an interesting scenario as we roll out. So what do I expect for next year? I'm guardedly optimistic. If the optimism rails, we should see 635. If not, we should see more of the same, hovering around that 600 level. So it's flat to increasing. So what does that mean overall? It means we'll still stay in that seller's market towards even a balanced nature if we go into recession. But am I going to see the market fall out of the Calgary market? No. I would expect it to fall out of the market more in Toronto and Vancouver. That's where I'm at with my story. Hopefully this gives you a feel for where I'm at. What does that talk to in 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 Calgary detached homes, just for those who are looking for that single family. The high side would be 840. If we hold steady, it'll be around 800. So on average, so that's where I'm at with these things. Initially, I've been telling all my buyers to acquire early as opposed to incur the uptick that we see in the spring market. We may have more time before we see that spring market occur. Initially, I thought it'd be much more, uh, er, much more called recent, or potentially at the end of January. But with this potential Trump tariff, we might have some time. But in any event, by the end of January, we'll know where we're headed. Uh, it just depends where You're at. Do you need the extra dollars? Do you want to take out the uncertainty of potentially an increase? As long as you acquire things at the right price, it's a bit of a crossroads here. It's no, I don't think there's more minus, sorry, than pluses. So I guess you could wait, but just recognize if you do wait and the spring market hits you, you'll be late into it, and you could see easily a 5% bump up from the current pricing today, or more, depending when people figure out, hey, this Trump tariff isn't going to occur, then you're going to be behind the eight ball. So my suggestion is, if you're looking, continue looking. If you're buying, oh, sorry, if you're selling, you could potentially hold off a little bit. That'll never hurt you. But if you're buying, it may hurt you. So that's where I'm at. Hopefully, this gives you a feel for my thought. I wish it was clearer, but when you're dealing with something that's a bit of a loose cannon down south affecting our macroeconomics of Canada, it's a hard call to make. Thanks a lot. Have a great New Year's. Bye now.